It's official. They've called and they're waiting for me. I'm on hold. So I'm going to sit here and look at you. And I ran out from the boat because I wanted to listen to Sirius on the car to hear what this is all about. And guess what? I'm in the underground garage. So there's no Sirius signal down here. So now I'm on hold. I can hear the commercials.
And we're going to push. And I know the veteran group in here talked to a lot of people. I haven't met with the players yet.
I don't know what's going on. I'm also going to try and look at the radio instead of at the video because I get hung up on seeing me, right? And I'm getting distracted by the barn swallows that live down here in the garage there. For some reason they've decided they hate me and are diving the truck. And they're weird things that I do in my life. I love hold. Don't you love hold? All the neat things that I had in my head start to disappear.
Hi there, this is Mark Aflalo from your Tech Report, and you're listening to Canada Talks, Sirius XM 167.
This might be it. Or not.
You're listening to Canada Now with Jeff Salmon on Canada Talk, Sirius XM 167.
Ahead this hour, we're going to let you behind the curtain a little bit as far as the planning of our show is concerned. Putting on tomorrow. We'll tell you about that. Lily Jamali of Bloomberg Markets Canada is going to join us, as she does on a daily basis. She'll do so later on in the hour. Going to talk a bit of Donald Trump with her. Looking forward to our visit with Lily Jamali. Well, the average selling price of a home in Toronto is $916,567. Chump change. As of March, up 33.2% just from a year ago. Just from a year ago, it's up by a third. It's crazy. The average Canadian home is now, in part because of that, $548,000, $517 as well. She's a real estate agent in Canada's hottest housing market, lives on a 40-foot boat on Toronto's shoreline. Alice Esmond joins Canada Now. Alice, you were one of a dozen who live year-round on Marina Key West, just a couple of blocks from the CN Tower. Mm-hmm. You've got a nice little group there that looks out for one another. It's a nice community.
It absolutely is. Maybe a bit more than a dozen. There's probably about 50 boats all told, I think.
Ah, okay,
yeah.
So it's a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
And you know, Alice, I know you've been asked, but you're not moving anytime soon. That's where you live. That's where you're staying.
It's where I live, where I say, yeah, of course I'm laughing a little bit because we moved on Saturday. We went from our winter slip to our summer slip, which was all of 2 docks down, but now we have the trouble that I don't have internet. All of our stuff's on the dock behind us.
Oh, really? I was going to say, like, what's it like to move from one boat to another? I mean, you don't need a moving van necessarily, right?
Well, boats are pretty amazing in how much stuff you can stuff inside them. You can see water lines expand as people move out. We used a moving van when we moved out of our first boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I would think living on a boat, you would have to minimize to a certain extent.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. It gives you a new perspective on what's important stuff to keep and what's not important. Same as if you're living in a small condo or something like that. But we have a lot of stuff. I keep surprising myself.
And you say we, it's yourself, it's your adult son, you've got a German Shepherd as well, so it's all of you guys in the boat.
Don't forget my husband.
Take us back when you decided to do that.
Well, that would have been, almost, oh God, 20 years ago. We wanted to cruise the world. We were going to be sailing cruisers. That was the dream. It's what my husband and I wanted to do, and we bought a bare hull, and we built it up from scratch, and she was totally custom. Sweet little boat. And we discovered we don't like going places on the boat because things fall down and I get seasick. So and we decided, okay, but we love the marina lifestyle, the boating lifestyle, the small community that you get. So we stayed.
Yeah, and I can see the attraction there. And that's where you are. You actually do own property in Toronto, right?
Mississauga, but yes, we do. We have a condo out by Square One.
Close to Toronto in Mississauga, Ontario. So why not live in it? Is it because this has been your chosen lifestyle for 2 decades? You don't want to change that?
The trade-off is, for us, it's too steep. The Mississauga condo is pretty big. It's 1,200 plus square feet. I feel enclosed in it. We have 2 decks inside and another one outside. We can just walk outside anytime. The Mississauga condo has a solarium too, so there's no outside space.
Yeah, but it's not the same as walking out to the deck of a boat.
No.
Yeah, I can see that, and you know, it must be great because, you know, I mean, I love visiting the Queen's Quay, but you get those sight lines all the time.
Yes, we do. We always joke that the $1 million condos have a fantastic view, and we are the view.
And you are the view. Exactly. Warning though, that like this life isn't for everyone. Like
No.
as much as we would romanticize it, this works for you. Like you've done this for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen some people that say, no, that's going to be the life for me, and it just doesn't work out that way.
Absolutely. Like it's like anything. You don't know until you try it. And living on a boat in the summer is not the same as in the winter. The winter can be pretty challenging. You're fairly isolated, just because nobody comes and visits us when it's cold outside, and we have our little bubble and our little hole in the ice that, let me tell you, not this past couple of winters have been good, but 2 and 3 years ago, the really wonderful winters we had, I literally broke ice for half an hour a day. Every day for 3 months. Yeah, it was.
I mean, we complain typically here in Toronto and Canada, but we will complain about shoveling snow. I mean, breaking ice that's a whole other ballgame.
And I'll tell you a secret: we also own a landscaping company too, so I do a lot of snow shoveling. That breaking ice was hard.
My goodness, do you see the irony in that you own a landscaping company?
Oh, I've heard it all, yes.
Okay, I guess I'm not the first one. Here I am thinking I'm being clever. So, what did you know about boats before moving on to one?
I used to do little sailboats, like the laser and sunfish sailboats, those kind of racing boats. Never anything bigger than maybe 16 feet.
Well, it's more than I ever did. What do you do to maintain the boats?
Oh God, well, you've heard the expression, right? What BOAT stands for? Bring on another 1,000. Hole in the water you throw money into. I'm having a bit of a day today because we've, like I said, we moved slips, and we were out of water, and our water hose is in the other spot, and all my shoes are wet because it was raining last night and we haven't made into summer mode, and I have no internet because we moved yet. So.
And here you are honoring your commitment to come on with us on Sirius XM.
Oh,
that is very much appreciated, Alice.
No problem.
You talk about, living on a boat and the maintenance of it. How is it typically, under normal circumstances, how is electricity and water supply, things like that? Well,
it can depend on how your boat is set up. A lot of boats in the summertime anyway have got it's called a dock water system, where the water there's a plumbing system on the boat that can just take the water from the dock hookup, so it's just like being in a house basically. We have water tanks. We have about 120 gallons, which lasts us about a week. So we have to fill up every week.
Yeah.
And hydro, we have giant extension cords to plug into the dock.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
You're paying quite a lot less, I would imagine, than what you would be paying for, say, in a condo in Toronto.
We probably average out maybe $1,100 over the year, our cost of living in the boat outside what we have to do to maintain the boat itself.
Yeah.
So it is less expensive. Our maintenance in Mississauga is like $800. So.
Yeah. My producer Cassandra, she's been looking for a place. She's with me here in studio. I don't know. I mean, Alice, maybe do you think Cassandra should try out the boating experience? And maybe by trying it out, I'm asking on her behalf. Can she move in with you for a little while and test that out?
Oh, that would be.
I'm really tiny, Alice.
Are you? I don't know. Are you smaller than the dog will try to eat you?
You know what? I think that's a safe bet that is actually true. She would be smaller than. But you know what? In Cassandra's journey to find a new place to live, Cassandra, you can tell the story better than I would. But you've discovered some attempts at scamming.
Yeah, and I really wanted to get your take on this, Alice, being the leading real estate agent in Toronto, a big market. Have you ever witnessed anybody, maybe people you've spoken to, victims of scamming? And what I mean by this is where the landlord or the property manager is asking for a down payment or deposit before anything has even been established.
Yeah, it's a little bit of the Wild West out there. The landlords up until now, even with the new changes, they've basically been able to ask for almost anything because the demand is so high and the supply is so low. So there's all kinds of rules being broken about demanding 12 post-dated checks. That's completely illegal. All kinds of that sort of thing. I personally haven't run into a demand like that because when I do leases, I deal with other realtors. So it's a landlord who's already made an arrangement.
Sure.
Benefit for using a realtor, by the way. And so I don't hit that up. I have seen when I'm doing my research for my clients on Kijiji and maybe I shouldn't say the website names. You do see the listings that are so suspect. It's just, it makes me sick. And I felt so bad because there was one person, it was clearly somebody was using somebody's house information to collect personal information. They wanted a copy of a government issue ID before they would give any information on the house. And I even tried talking to the Peel Police about it, and they said, well, there's nothing we can do. There hasn't been a crime committed yet that we know of. So
interesting. So
yeah.
What are some other signs that people should look out for? You say it's very suspect. Aside from the ID, is there anything else that are, clear-cut signs?
There is absolutely no way you should be being asked to be putting any money down first. I understand as a landlord that you want to be safe. You don't want just anybody coming in the house. There's ways around it. Use a realtor. That's a great way. But it's asking for money up front. It's just wrong. It's never gonna end well, I don't think. Even if they want to meet on an off-site location, maybe that's okay. Just make sure you tell people where you're going, especially females. That's always a worry too.
And something that I've experienced, I'm not sure if this is unusual, if you've heard of this also, is when they do, send in back the email requesting all this information, they make a point to say that they don't live here. They don't live where you're looking, so they're coming from out of town, which I think is another clear-cut suspect sign, if you will, right?
Yeah, and ultimately, a non-resident landlord or even a non-local landlord, they're going to have somebody managing the property for them, ultimately, because how on earth can they deal with an emergency, right? So that... on one hand, maybe they're not very wise and they want to keep as much money to themselves. And in that question, how good are they going to be as a landlord? How are they going to respond to you in the first place? So it could just be naivety in that sense. But that would be a huge red flag for me.
Well, given the hot housing market that would be out here in Toronto, Vancouver as well,
Mm-hmm.
and the rule breakers that are out there, do you consider real estate agents kind of like a last line of defense for clients? Because, you know, the lawmakers just might not be able to keep up with growing trends of those that are breaking rules?
The backlog on complaints is enormous. So it's you need somebody in your corner. This is what we do a lot of hours a day. So it's and things change on a very regular basis. We have new laws that have just come in. So it's our job to know this. You, who have another job that you do all the time, how can you possibly know everything? So.
Yeah.
No.
Real estate agent living on a boat, talking about her experience and giving us tips as well. Alice Esmond, really appreciate your taking the time, especially on a day like today for yourself. Alice, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem.
We'll talk again.
Oh, I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you. There's Alice Esmond, real estate agent.
So what do you think? Did we sound professional? I hope so.